welcome back to another episode of Minecraft. My name's Aidan, and today we are going to be tackling a new project. That's right, we've been talking about it for a while now, and we even showed the little location we had here last episode, and we're actually going to be taking it up this episode and getting a roll on it. Starting with our little house, and my hopes for this area are to eventually turn it into like a medieval fantasy type village, but we have to start somewhere, and that somewhere is my base right here. Now what I'm going to start doing is just kind of lay out the foundation here, and then we'll probably jump back into another time lapse. I just want to make sure that the land I terraformed here is going to kind of suit the build I have in mind. So let's start with the frame here. We're going to go for 19 blocks on this side. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that leaves 10 blocks in total. So 5 blocks either side. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then 1, 2. Let's actually do that one right here. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, so that's 19 blocks long right there. And that's actually fairly even. Maybe let's just make that symmetrical. Why not? Let's dig out this here. We're going to move that guy down by 1, right? Yep, that's right. And bam, bam. Alright, so 19 by 13, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, and 13. Alright, and then from here we should have another 18, or 19, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. Right in line with that. And this should take us all the way back over. Dig that guy out. And perfect. So this is going to be the basic little foundation we have here for our house build. Let's just kind of get this foundation cleaned up right here and place another dirt block right there. And of course we'll kind of clear things out and make things all nice and tidy as we go, but how does that look? It looks pretty good. And there's going to be little branches off of this, but I just wanted to make sure that the main structure, the base of it, where the front door is going to be, kind of fit well, and I think it definitely will. We'll maybe have like a back porch deck thing coming off the back side here, since there's like a kind of cliff looking thing. Yeah, so I think what we're going to do now is just get the basic shell built up. It's not going to have a lot of detail. We're going to kind of take it in stages so it's a little bit more manageable, but the first step now is just getting the base structure up. So let's jump into another time lapse and see how that goes. And we're back. We've got our walls up, and I just wanted to kind of go over the block palette I'm using. So we've got the, what do you call those? The polished blackstone bricks? I think that's what they are, as kind of the base foundation here, and then andesite for all the upper bits here. Now we're going to have some windows and stuff dotted around there. We've got these spruce logs as the kind of support pillars. We've got some really thick ones at the bottom, and these ones along the kind of upper wall here to kind of break things up. We're going to be adding some detail to that too. We're going to be adding some windows throughout. And then we've got our little front door area right down there with our roof overhang thing. So this whole upper part here is going to have a big roof. That's what we got all of the warped stems for. And then that's going to come to a point, and we're going to add like a little bit more on top. And then the little overhang here will have its own roof section that kind of meets with the main one. And yeah, that's kind of the look we're going for, the block palette, if you will. And from afar, this thing's looking pretty good. I actually really like how it's standing on the hill there. Now, the front door is not in the most opportune spot. We're going to have to do a little bit of creative terraforming around there. Just because it kind of walks off right into a ditch there, over into the water. So we're going to have to kind of create a little patio type thing. Something to kind of smooth that out. Maybe add some fencing to kind of protect that area and just kind of guide the player towards the front door a little easier. And yeah, building this not in a creative world, because I started this build in a creative world, right? On a flat world. So, oh goodness, hi there. So bringing this build into the real world here, the non-super flat world, presents a whole lot of different challenges, which I'm really liking because it's actually kind of, I don't know, it conforms to the land around it, and it just kind of fits a little bit better, like how it's got a hill on either side, so it's kind of built into it, and then it's kind of falling off on this side here, so it adds some, I don't know, some character to the build. I just like how it looks, and I think it's going to lead to some really cool additions, kind of like that little patio area on the front there, because we have this hill right there. And same with the back area there, that cliff, adding a little back deck type thing. That wasn't in my original plans because I didn't have that land to work off of. So I'm really happy with how that's going. And I need to get some torches and stuff around here. I might make a quick trip back to the little starter base and maybe gather a few more materials, because all I really brought with me were just building blocks. So I don't have a whole lot of other things like torches. I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think of a bed. You probably saw in the opening time lapse, I just like kind of flew off somewhere and stopped terraforming for a while because I realized I didn't have a bed. So I just went over to the village and stole one of theirs. So, you know, as per usual, I'm somewhat unprepared and just kind of diving into things head first. But would it really be another one of my videos if I wasn't somewhat unprepared or extremely unprepared? That's half the fun, right? So we're going to get a few more resources from back home and probably come back out here and do the roof, I think. The roof is probably the next big step in the shell. We don't want to start adding too many details yet. I want to get this base building set. We can get it detailed, and then we can start expanding out into the wings or doing interior, kind of just whatever happens naturally. So let's go do that now. Well, it's been a day or two, I think a day, since I recorded that last little piece of the time lapse there, and we're back. We're back here to show and recap the progress we made here on the roof. And boy, oh boy, am I loving how it looks. Let me get a better vantage point up here as I just fly on past this tree and nail the landing. All right. I went a little wild with this. It's not quite like the creative build I did. I didn't fully build this in creative. I just kind of made the facade of it and, you know, went from there. And there's a few things that kind of changed because of that. Because I only did the facade, I didn't take into account at the peak of the roof how narrow that little top section would be. That was supposed to be another floor, but it ended up being only 1 block wide once I put the walls in, so that didn't really work out. So I had to make a little design change there, and then I just went wild with that shape up top. And I love it. It looks really cool. And then I, was kind of drawing inspiration from Japanese architecture, and I can show you the little piece of concept art I actually found online that first started the idea for this build. And where am I going with this? And in combination with that and the Japanese architecture I saw, there's this little roof thing here, because originally it was just a roof where the stairs kind of went all the way around and just kind of sloped up on all 4 sides. But then we added this little cutout here where it comes out straight, and then there's a little section of wall here where I'll probably put a window or something like that. So that's new, at least new from my original design. And then because of that, we added these little flare-ups at the tip there on either end. And then the little corner flares. Another little thing that I kind of took inspiration from Japanese architecture. And I'm loving it. It's looking really cool. And again, it's just building it in survival and running into different little problems, like the whole roof thing up here that I didn't anticipate when I was building it in creative. Then just kind of that causes, a creative solution that ends up actually being really cool. And I like it a lot more because of it. So yeah, it's really, really coming together and I'm digging it. Now, the next thing here, I think, is going to be start working on some of the detailing, which I think I'm going to do in just a little bit of a cut, because I don't know exactly what I want to do. It's probably going to be a lot of back and forth, a lot of thinking, experimenting, so probably not great for a time lapse. And we've done a few of them already this episode, so I will jump in and start working out some detailing things, and I'll meet you guys back here in a bit. Now that's much better. I love how this is coming out. So let's go over some of the things we made here, some of the things we added. First off, you'll notice in the andesite here, we added some regular, just plain old stone in there, just to kind of texturize it all the way around. And then same with the black stone here. We have some cracked blackstone bricks, just kind of adding to the texture there, kind of getting a little bit of variety. And then on these upper levels here, we've got some dark oak trapdoors. We've got those kind of interspersed throughout in just little areas. And then some spruce buttons on log parts. Not all of them, but just some kind of all around. Then we hung some lanterns just from various places on the roof. Let's actually get a better vantage point maybe where we can see a little bit more of that. We got some up top and then all around this big roof, all the overhang spots. I just kind of strung them from different heights. Let's actually look at it from back here. Yeah, that's looking really cool. Then we had little bits of depth added kind of like here on the walls just to kind of break it up a little bit, along with the texture of the stone. We added little stairs here and there around these windows. And then that little front porch area too. with stone brick. I don't know if we're going to texturize that at all. I think what we'll end up doing is kind of bringing this path over to the portal and then down the hill here where we will eventually have like a dock wrapping around this bay. That's down the road though. We'll see how that all actually comes together in practice. Now, along the side here, ooh, nailed the landing. No windows down here, just more of kind of the same stuff that we were doing on the front. And then up top there on the roof area, we've got a window right there. I don't know if I love that part. It's a little plain around the edges, I think, but it's not bad. I might come back through if an idea strikes me and kind of change it up from there. But I think that's pretty good. Then around back here is where we've got something a little bit different. Maybe this tree over here would be a little bit better to look at it from. Yeah, right over there. So we've got windows in the back here, and I think this is probably one of my favorite little pieces just because the corners there have cool little depth in there, plus the windows. I don't know, it just all came together in a really neat shape, I think. And then again, same thing with the trapdoors, a little bit of texture and depth down there at the bottom. I was kind of debating adding some chimney stacks around here, but I don't know if I will actually like how that looks. We may experiment with that down the road, but I think once I start adding the different wings here, because this building isn't it, there's going to be little extra bits here and off to that side. So once we have that kind of at lower heights, we might not want extra stuff there. It might look a little too busy otherwise. But yeah, that's about it in terms of the outside, I think. Things are kind of lit up, and then on the roof where there are full blocks, we put down some string to prevent mob spawning, so we shouldn't have any bad guys up on the roof, even in the dark spots. And then on the inside here, we haven't done too much, so all I did really was add in some floors and some walls. I went with smooth sandstone here and stripped dark oak logs for the floor. Now, this is my first time really trying out that doubling up your wall technique. So where you have kind of that different material on the outside, and then you have this extra layer on the inside. So that's our exterior wall there, and then this will be a different one for the interior. I am going to try to really kind of compartmentalize this a little bit better and really work on the interior and make something kind of cool and cozy, but it's a little out of my wheelhouse. It's not really something I've done too much before. I'm not great at it, so we'll see how it turns out. I think we'll wait to tackle this for now. And then up here we've done a little bit less. Still, we did the walls, and then for the floors here we just have the spruce planks that we are using for the ceiling down below. I think it's okay. I'm worried the color is a little bit too similar, but I think the different texture really helps. And then, of course, lighting will have fixed down the road, too. Up here, I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do for the ceiling material. We'll probably have a little attic area for sure. And then, again, break this up into different rooms. Have an area up there. And, yeah. Then a little more on the outside that we'll do kind of over time. We will have that little back deck kind of area that we talked about earlier. Just kind of coming out here. We'll have to clear out some trees and stuff, but I think this is a really great area for it, and that'll maybe help break up the inside by adding a back door right there. And then I think what we might end up doing is, let's see if we can get a good place to fly here. Maybe on this little back area here, since this roof section is so flat and kind of unbroken, we have that little outcropping at the front right there. That kind of helps break up this big flat edge. So what we might do there is add a little landing pad, and maybe we'll put our bed up in the attic area. That way, if we ever need to, when we're in the surrounding area, we can just fly in, dive in through the landing pad there, and sleep the night away. That way we don't have to go in the house and up some stairs maybe, or just walk all the way to the front door here. I don't know. I on one hand, I like the idea of being able to just quickly fly in and go to sleep, but then on the other, I want to actually use this base, use this house for stuff, and I want to, go in and, I don't know, use it. So we'll see. There's a lot of undecided things that we have to work out, but as of right now, it is coming together just splendidly. I'm really happy with it, and I don't know, it's cool to try out something kind of new. This is a little bit bigger of a scale than I'm used to, and it's really rewarding. It's a good feeling, especially in survival here, gathering all the materials and getting it built up, and being a little bit nervous about tackling it at first, but seeing it come together is great. And yeah, I think for tonight, that will probably do it. And by tonight, I mean my play session tonight in the real world, but then also this episode. I think we had a lot of great progress on the base right here, and yeah, I'm happy with that. I think I'm going to leave it right there, and we will continue this in the next episode, where we will start to tackle the interior. That'll be its own kind of thing, I think. It makes sense to break it up into another episode. So, everyone, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed it, leave a like and let me know what you think down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.